We have recently had more revelations from Wikileaks. They apparently got many types of leaks, including Wikileaks, and they've apparently gotten into John Podesta's emails. John Podesta running the campaign for Hillary Clinton, and boy, he would know. It's not just his emails, but emails sent to him. So there's a lot of insider information here. In this story, I'm going to concentrate on what they were calling the Pied Piper candidates on the Republican side. So this was early on in the process. This was, I think, around April of 2015. So they don't know who's going to emerge victorious on the Republican primary side. So they want to focus on these guys. What do they mean by Pied Pipers? So here's what they say. There are two ways to approach the strategies mentioned above. The first is to use the field as a whole to inflict damage on itself, similar to what happened to Mitt Romney in 2012. The variety of candidates is a positive here, and many of the lesser known can serve as a cudgel to move the more established candidates further to the right. Now, this is a strategy memo for the Clinton campaign. They have strategy memos. This is not a surprising thing. We understand that. It's just the strategy they have does tell you a little bit about themselves. So I don't think this is anywhere near the most damaging of the WikiLeaks. I covered a lot of that on Friday, but I think it is instructive. So first off, I would have a slight issue there because they think it's a good strategy to have the entire Republican field move to the right. So they want to emphasize these guys who they think are losers and aren't going to make it anyway, but move the Republicans so far right that they can't win. Is that a rational decision-making process if you're trying to beat them, especially in one particular race, in this case the presidency? Yes, I get it. I understand that. At the same time, what you're doing is you're moving the entire conversation to the right, and that is not overly helpful to the country if you ask me. I know that they'll disagree. That's my take on it, but we're just getting started. So they go on to say, in this scenario, we don't want to marginalize the more extreme candidate, but make them more Pied Piper candidates who actually represent the mainstream of the Republican Party. So before I get to who they are, see, that's the one actually that probably disturbed me the most. No, those are the party. You see, even the Clinton campaign to this late date does not understand that the Republican Party is extreme. Their voters are extreme. Poll after poll indicates it. 65% of Donald Trump supporters think that President Obama is a Muslim. 30% wouldn't allow gays into the country. So, you know, wakey. They think the Republicans are perfectly normal, but they have a couple of fringe guys, and those guys are never going to win. They're Pied Pipers. But let's pretend that the Republicans actually agree with them. You don't have to pretend. The Republican Party does agree with them. So, all right, well, let's be fair to them. Let's find out who they think are the Pied Pipers that have no chance of winning. Pied Piper candidates include, but aren't limited to, Ted Cruz, who came in second, Donald Trump, and Ben Carson. So what does that show you? That shows you a couple of things. Number one, I have no idea what is going on in this country. And these are all the top political experts on the Democratic side. I mean, the guys who have no chance of winning, Donald Trump and Ted Cruz, came in number one and number two. They had no idea what was going to hit them. Number two, they're like, let's promote these guys because they'll hurt the Republican Party, which is not really aligned with them. No, it turns out the Republican voters perfectly align with Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. And for a while, Ben Carson was number one. He's the only guy who ever had a lead on Donald Trump. So he picked literally like the three guys who had the only chance of winning. When are you going to get it through your thick skulls? The Republicans are not a reasonable party. In other parts of the WikiLeaks, when she's talking to the bankers, Hillary Clinton talks about a reasonable left and a reasonable right, and then there are the fringes, right? There is no reasonable right. The voters overwhelmingly voted for Cruz and Donald Trump because that's what they want on the Republican side. And by the way, they always thought like, oh, this will be fun and games. It'll be so easy. Well, until recently, not that easy. And for a while, Hillary Clinton was tied with Donald Trump. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. All right, last part of this, they say we need to be elevating the Pied Piper candidates so that they are the leaders of the pack and tell the press to take them seriously. In other words, they don't take them seriously, we don't take them seriously, but let's pretend we do. Like Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, no, you should take them seriously, you should. Well, look, that strategy fed the beast, and the beast then became real and could have overwhelmed us all. So they're playing dice with the Republic here. At this point, with about a month left before the election, it looks like Trump's odds of winning are not very good. But boy, that was a hell of a gamble. And you're missing the larger picture, which is the country is in an angry, populist mood. And in that time, you think these populists have no chance, when in reality, unfortunately, they had a perfectly good chance. So if you keep playing with fire, at some point you're going to get burned. So you might call them Pied Pipers now, but at some point we might all be paying the piper. Young Turks membership is awesome.
Says who?
Says me.
But
Please believe me.
TURTnetwork.com/join.